Good afternoon. It's time for Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Patterson. Today we'll join Here and Now reporter Joanne Magley for a look at our area's newest green energy initiative. Then we'll find out about the Safe Kids national campaign called Never Leave Your Child Alone with Health Department reporter Stephanie Strong. And finally, we'll join Community Information Director Dave Byron in the studio for a discussion with Jayne Fifer, President and CEO of the Volusia Manufacturers Association. We'll find out how much manufacturing contributes to our local economy. Those segments, news, and more coming up on Volusia Magazine. Stay tuned. Volusia County recently recognized National Mosquito Awareness Week by hosting an open house at its mosquito control headquarters in New Smyrna Beach. Area residents turned out in a drizzly day to see the county's mosquito fighting equipment and learn how to fight the bite.
Yeah, one of the things we try and emphasize as far as mosquito bite and mosquito disease prevention are what we call the 5 Ds. And they're centered around when you go outside during mosquito season and avoiding the dusk and the dawn. Those are 2 of the Ds. The other would be the dress, to try and dress appropriately, cover as much skin as possible, limit the amount of bare skin exposed to the mosquitoes, and also to use an insecticide or a mosquito spray with DEET. That's the other D. And the 5th D is drainage. In other words, around your house, look for buckets, old water bottles, tires, things like that that might contain standing water that can breed mosquitoes and make it worse than it would be naturally.
Visitors got a rare glimpse of the county's mosquito fish hatchery, where employees breed and nurture guppies that are released into ponds to eat mosquito larvae. Residents also got a close look at the county's arsenal of spray trucks, helicopters, airboats, and mosquito traps. They even got to spin the wheel and test their knowledge of mosquito trivia. These Rhode Island Reds, which serve on the front line of the county's mosquito control efforts, were a crowd pleaser. 36 sentinel chickens placed in 8 coops around the county are checked weekly for the presence of antibodies to mosquito-borne illnesses such as the West Nile virus. The chickens themselves don't get sick from the diseases and are retired to farms after 1 year of service.
We're seeing our sentinel chicken flocks, which are smoke alarms out in the wild, and as they monitor the virus and we get the results from them, they help justify some of the control techniques that we use, and we're seeing some of the equipment associated with those control techniques, from boats to helicopters on down to the people who are actually out in the field.
To learn what you can do to help reduce the mosquito population, you can visit volusia.org/mosquito. Our recent brush with Tropical Storm Debbie reminds us about the importance of purchasing flood insurance. Did you know flooding is America's #1 natural disaster? Floods cause more deaths and property damage than any other type of natural disaster. Hurricane season is here, so it's time to make sure your home is insured against flooding. Who needs flood insurance? Everyone. Anywhere it rains, it can flood. And you don't have to live near water to be at risk of flooding. All it takes is a few inches of water to cause major damage to your home and its contents.
If you live in Florida, it can flood. A lot of people that live in Florida on the western side of the county seem to think that they live in a high area and that it can never flood at their home, but it can. It was proven during Tropical Storm Faye over in the DeBerry area. They were in a high area and it would never flood, but it was proven that it can flood under the right circumstances. So everyone needs to have flood insurance if you live in Florida. Your regular homeowner's insurance will not cover rising water.
Flood insurance is available through the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, for homes, condominiums, apartments, and commercial structures. According to the National Flood Insurance Program, flooding is the #1 most common natural disaster in the United States. There is a 26% chance of experiencing a flood during the life of a 30-year mortgage in high-risk flood areas.
Don't wait until it's too late. There's a 30-day waiting period when you purchase flood insurance for it to come into effect. You cannot get flood insurance if we have a named storm impacting our coastline.
For more information about the National Flood Insurance Program, you can contact your insurance agent or you can visit floodsmart.gov. Volusia County residents will be voting in the primary election in August, and more than 15% of them are expected to vote from their homes by sending in absentee ballots. This year's primary will be August 14th, followed by the general election November 6th. Volusia County's Elections Department is gearing up for a high turnout as voters will be electing not only a president, but also a number of state and local officials. 6 county council seats are on the ballot this year, and 14 of the county's 16 cities and towns will be conducting elections. Voters can request absentee ballots in person at the Department of Elections, which is in the historic courthouse in DeLand. Voters can also request absentee ballots by mail, phone, fax, email, or online at volusia.org/elections. To have an absentee ballot mailed to your home for the primary election, the Department of Elections must receive the request by August 8th. Voters can return their completed absentee ballots by mail or in person at any early voting site. They can also drop them off at the Department of Elections by 7 p.m. on Election Day. They cannot drop them off at a precinct on Election Day. Early voting is another way for voters to beat the rush. Early voting for the primaries will be from August 4th through August 11th at the regional libraries in Daytona Beach, Deltona, New Smyrna Beach, and Ormond Beach, as well as the Department of Elections in DeLand. For more information about absentee ballots and early voting, you can call the Department of Elections at 386-736-5930, or you can visit volusia.org/elections.
Hi, I'm Joyce Cusack, Volusia County Council member at large. As tough economic times continue, Volusia County residents and visitors are seeing the value of public transportation. During the last fiscal year, VoTran had more than 3.5 million boardings. VoTran offers a variety of services, including fixed route buses, a beachside trolley, van pooling, and a gold service for people who can't ride fixed route buses due to disability or age. At $1.25 a ride, VoTran drives a great bargain. For more information about VoTran, visit votran.org.
Have you noticed the new electric car charging stations throughout Volusia County? Reporter Joanne Magley has more about this green energy initiative in today's Volusia Here and Now.
If you've purchased or are thinking about purchasing an electric vehicle, maybe to be more green or to save some green at the gas station, it's now easier to recharge your ride here in Volusia County. There are 9 new and public charging stations in the county. 6 of those are in the city of DeLand.
We're trying to be a leader and have everybody try to follow what we're trying to do.
Mike Grabose is the assistant to the city manager in DeLand. There are 3 charging stations on city property.
A representative from Progress Energy came to my office and said we have a grant where we can install up to 3 charging stations for the city of DeLand for public use, no charge to the city. And we looked at that, and we looked at what we're doing with our internal, with our city cars, and what we're wanting to do for the city, and we said we want to jump on board for that.
Progress Energy will collect data from the charging stations to better understand how customers will charge electric vehicles and the impact of charging on the electric system. Grabose says the city of DeLand wants to promote the subject of sustainability to as many people as possible, and these charging stations are one way to do that. People with electric cars can pull up to one of these stations, plug in the charger, and then go about their business. The stations and the 5 city electric vehicles were paid for through a grant from the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant Program, which empowers local communities to make strategic investments to meet the nation's long-term goals for energy independence and leadership on climate change.
In that grant, we were able to do energy retrofits of city buildings, energy retrofits of some private buildings, some private businesses. We were also able to obtain these vehicles, and we were also able to do energy audits for many residents in the city.
There are also 2 charging stations on the campus of Stetson University and 1 at DeLand Nissan. In Daytona Beach, there's a station at the Daytona Nissan and at Buffalo Wild Wings on International Speedway Boulevard. And in Port Orange, there is a charging station at the Country Inn and Suites off of Dunlawton Avenue. Progress Energy will own, operate, and monitor the charging stations during a year-long research period. Ownership and responsibility will then transfer to the sponsoring locations once the research ends. The electricity used to charge the vehicles is paid for by the sponsoring location.
The only thing we're paying is the energy bill. That's it, and it's about 40 cents an hour when they're running.
That cost, combined with 0 emissions from the car and a fuel savings of nearly $10,000 in 5 years, makes the purchase of an electric vehicle something to consider. For Volusia Here and Now, I'm Joanne Magley.
For more information on the Energy Initiative, you can visit the website progress-energy.com/plugin. Florida is known for its hot summer days, and it's especially important for parents to remember not to leave their children in hot cars, even for a short period. Children left in hot cars are at risk of extreme heat, which can quickly cause death or serious and permanent injury. The Volusia County Health Department supports the Safe Kids national campaign called Never Leave Your Child Alone. Public Information Officer Stephanie Strong has the details of why to always check the back seat when you exit, and remember to never leave your child alone in a hot vehicle in this segment of Community Health Matters.
Nationwide, an estimated 37 children die each year because they were left alone in a hot car. The Volusia County Health Department supports Safe Kids USA's Never Leave Your Child Alone campaign, bringing awareness to this problem.
We're encouraging folks to never leave your child alone in a car, not even for a moment, not even to make a quick run into a store. You think you'll get out of there quickly, but it ends up taking longer and your child's in there, the car's heating up all the time. And when that child's core body temperature reaches 106, 107 degrees, it reaches a situation that it can be fatal. If they do get out in time, there's also that possibility of permanent brain injury for that child.
On this day, the Daytona Beach Fire Department demonstrates what happens during a call where a child is left alone in a hot car. For this demonstration, a doll is used, but this scenario is very realistic. With temperatures rising, time is precious. Every second matters.
You got an ED link to the hospital?
Once we got the child out, our paramedics assessed the child using our ALS equipment, advanced life support equipment, our monitor, our Zoe monitor, placed the child on the monitor using some leads where it gets the reading of your heartbeat to see if your heart is beating. They found no pulse.
Hypothermia statistics. A child's core body temperature rises 3 to 5 times faster than an adult's. In just 10 minutes, a car's temperature can increase by 19 degrees, and it continues to rise as time goes on. And more than 50% of the children who died from heat stroke nationwide were forgotten by a caring adult who became distracted when they left the vehicle.
We want to encourage people as part of this campaign that when you do have your child in a car seat in the back seat, wherever you're traveling, that you put something in that back seat in the floor of the car that will remind you to get back there, whether it's your briefcase, your lunch, computer, whatever it might be, to remind you to get in that back seat so that you'll see that your child is there.
School's out, summer's here.
Director of the Volusia County Health Department, Dr. Bonnie J. Sorensen, hosted a summer health and safety summit, also featuring experts in swimming safety, heat stroke prevention, mosquito control, gas and charcoal grill safety, fireworks safety, summer food preps, and bicycle helmet safety. For more information about overall summer safety tips, please visit www.volusiahealth.com. For more information on preventing hypothermia deaths, please visit www.safekids.org. And remember, be sure to never leave your child alone in a hot car. For Volusia Magazine and on behalf of the Volusia County Health Department, your guide to better health, I'm Public Information Officer Stephanie Strong.
If you have any questions about this or any other health-related issues, visit volusiahealth.com. And now it's time to head into the studio to join Community Information Director Dave Byron for his discussion with the President and CEO of the Volusia Manufacturers Association, Jayne Fifer.
Well, thank you, Amber, and hi, everyone. Manufacturing is a vital component of Volusia's economy. A wide variety of products are made right here in Volusia County and shipped to domestic and foreign destinations throughout the world. And if you're looking for a good job, several manufacturers are seeking to find skilled positions. Today, we'll get an update on Volusia Manufacturing. Our studio guest is Jayne Fifer. She's President and CEO of the Volusia Manufacturers Association. Jayne, nice to have you with us.
Nice to be here, Dave. Thank you.
Hey, before we get into some of the nuts and bolts that we want to talk about, let's talk a little bit about Volusia Manufacturers Association, which we commonly call VMA. Tell us about your association.
The VMA was founded in 1980, so it's a 32-year-old organization founded by manufacturers for the purpose of providing information, education, and networking opportunities to the local manufacturers.
So who can become a member of VMA?
Any manufacturer, and then associate members. Those are people that provide services. So it's somebody that makes something and then somebody that will provide a service to that. But 70% of the members are manufacturers.
And I know, because I see all of your information that comes out, you all do a wide variety of seminars and informational sessions and that sort of thing, kind of to help our manufacturers.
We do. Everything we do is to keep in mind we want them to grow their business. We want them to connect to the information that they need in order to go to the next level.
But when you look at manufacturing as a component of the county's economy, we have quite a few manufacturers.
Yes, we do. We've got over 400 manufacturers, and the reason that people don't see the manufacturing or they think that there is not manufacturing here is because most of the products that we make are put inside another project.
Right.
We do not have retail manufacturers. We have just a couple of those where you can go into the shop and say, oh, I'm going to buy that.
Right.
Say, for example, like the Fox mattress. You can go there, buy the mattress, and leave. But most other ones make parts that go into parts.
Give us, if you will, kind of a general thumbnail sketch of some of the manufacturers. Of course, you can't name all 400, but the diversity in the products that are made here in Volusia County is really somewhat surprising.
Very much so. We have company, for example, Hudson Technologies, and they make the containers that contain technology. So they will make a container that will go into a pacemaker. We have a lot of boating manufacturers.
Right.
And so then you have little spin-off companies that provide outsourced products that need to go into the boats. We have Teledyne Oil and Gas, which makes the underwater fiber optic connectors. Huge, huge company that their global headquarters is here right now, and we're instrumental in solving the Gulf oil spill. We have Spartan Electronics. They make the sauna buoys. I mean, we have companies that do things here that are on the global scene. For example, sauna buoys that Spartan makes actually they were able to find the black box when a plane goes down. So it's our products that actually do that.
And you know, I think of a company, I think Thompson Pump.
Yes.
They make pump connections and pumps and that sort of thing, and I think they come into play globally, actually.
They actually do. They're actually working on the Panama Canal.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know, one of the things that I think is surprising is that one of the larger components, and perhaps maybe even the biggest component of manufacturers by type, is medical companies in Volusia County.
Yes, we do have quite a few medical companies, or a certain component of medical companies. We have Command Medical. They collect the liquids. They make bags that collect the liquids. We have Covidian that makes the syringes. We have like Hudson Technology I talked about. That's one component of what they do. Spartan is into the medical industry. And it is a big component of our manufacturers here. Well, do you know that the number is either 65 to 80% of all the parachutes that are produced in the entire world are produced here in DeLand?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You know, unless you live in this area,
right,
you don't realize that a lot of these companies that are at the DeLand Airport are associated with the parachute industry, and I believe your manufacturer of the year recently was
Performance Designs.
Yeah, was a parachute manufacturer.
Absolutely. You know, there's like 32 companies that have to do with the parachute industry right here in DeLand.
Jayne, I want to just kind of focus a little bit on the economy for a minute. You know, obviously the economic times of the last 3, 4, 5 years were difficult across the country, and a number of our manufacturers clearly were affected by the downturn in the economy. But I'm starting to get the buzz, the feel that both nationally and locally, our manufacturers are really starting to come back up. What's your take?
The same as yours, Dave, very much so. In fact, we find ourselves in a situation where we can't find the skilled workers that we need in order to be able to fill the jobs that are available out there. Just in our own association, we were averaging around the years that were bad from 2008, we would have about 138 members. Well, we're already up to 165, and we're only into July of this year. So you're seeing a definite increase. And something else that's going on is many of the manufacturers that have been producing their products offshore are bringing them back onshore.
Jayne, you said something just a minute ago that I wanted to go back to, and that is that you said that there were jobs available, you know, here in Volusia County offered by some of our manufacturers. What is the story there?
The story is people do not know that we have manufacturing, and because they don't know we have manufacturing, they don't think they should train themselves in manufacturing. If you take a look at our plants, you're going to see that it's an older population, 40 and above, that are working in the manufacturers, because young people think, well, we manufacture everything in China, so we don't have the skilled workers. We don't have the CNC operators. We don't have the engineers. We don't have the welders. We don't have the maintenance mechanics. We have just one of our companies here needed over 30 CNC operators.
Wow.
Now, it's not that our schools don't respond to that, because they certainly do. Daytona State College is running extra classes this summer in order to give people some basic skills, so at least it will help the manufacturers get where they need to be in order to be able to get their products out the door.
Well, didn't I see, speaking of that, with that CNC training, didn't I see that if people go through this training and complete the course, that they're guaranteed an interview?
Absolutely. They're actually interviewing right now as we speak at the Advanced Technology College.
So this would, I guess what I'm hearing you say is that there are jobs available, and B, if younger people are looking for a career, then getting into manufacturing and getting a skill set in some form of the manufacturing world is probably a good career path.
It is, very much.
And the wages themselves, Jayne, I know as we look at average annual wages, and obviously we all want to make more than the average wage, but if I'm not mistaken, manufacturers here typically pay higher than the average wage.
Just to round it off, our average wage is about $35,000 a year. The average wage in manufacturing is $42,000 a year.
Wow.
So the opportunities are pretty limitless as the kind of money that you can make in manufacturing.
So if I'm a young guy or a woman and I'm getting ready to go to college or whatever, where do I go? I mean, give me some fields that you think would be a good future.
A very good future would be in engineering, manufacturing engineering. If you don't want to go that long, production technology. You might, if you're very mechanical and you like to do things hands-on, you might want to consider being a tool and die maker. And these kinds of jobs take years to get the skill levels that you need, but you need to have the basics.
Right.
You can get a certification in manufacturing technology that could open the doors. You can become a CNC operator with, you know, they offer the introductory class. It takes some more training than just one class in order to be an effective CNC operator. And the interesting thing, and I think the important thing, is people may have the impression that manufacturing is the old smokestacks and you're schlepping parts in a box. No, it's highly skilled now. You have to be a computer. CNC means computer numerical programmer, controller. So you're actually controlling the machine, the computer that's going to get the parts made that you have to get made.
So you say people don't know about these jobs. don't know about manufacturing, I guess that's where you and your organization come in. What are you doing about this?
Well, we have quite a plan that we're putting in place this summer, and it's under the name of the Dream It, Do It, which is the state has just adopted Dream It, Do It. It's the National Association of Manufacturers effort, if you will, to funnel the 16 to 26-year-olds into jobs in manufacturing. But here's what we're doing. We have a poster project that we are working on with the Advanced Technology College, and our manufacturers are producing big 8x10 posters that we're going to put up there that are going to show the kinds of products that they make. They're going to show a little bit about the company, and then they're going to show all the careers that are available in that company, not just what's available now, because it's going to show the door to the future. Like, you could start here, and maybe you didn't know that manufacturing needs salespeople, and they need marketing people, and they need human resource division people, in addition to the CNCs and the engineers, and they need managers. So we want to be able to train the community that yes, this is available here. And then we're going to have a manufacturing mentoring day in September, where we're going to bring students from the academies, our high school academies that focus on manufacturing. We're going to bring them out to our manufacturers. We're putting up a speakers bureau where our manufacturers are going to go into the schools and speak to our students to let them know that we're here. And then our manufacturers showcase, which is going to be in October this year, is going to be an event where we're inviting the academies that have to do with manufacturing, and there's going to be a competition. There's going to be a little project that each one of the schools is going to work on, and then we'll vote on who's the best. But anything to engage manufacturers with education to say, look, this is a viable future for you.
Jayne, if there are people out there, now that you've got them all excited, if there are people out there that want more information, perhaps want you to come talk to them or whatever, how do people get more information?
Well, you can call me at 386-673-0505, or you can go to our website and then you can send me an email. It's vmaonline.com.
Well, Jayne, I want to thank you very much for sharing the information with us today. Obviously, this is an important subject, and it's, I guess, a very a happy one in respect that our manufacturers are looking to provide people some decent jobs.
Yes.
Our guest today, Jayne Fifer, she's President and CEO of the Volusia Manufacturers Association. And with that, we'll go back to you, Amber.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about our program, just give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org. You can also watch the show online. Just go to volusia.org and click on the Volusia Magazine icon. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today, Volusia County Government's public information radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. And finally, we'd like to invite you to the next Volusia County Council meeting, which is scheduled for Thursday, July 12th at 9 a.m. in the Council Chambers in DeLand. Public participation is welcome. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a great evening.